Our countdown continues to election night here, getting closer and closer by the second. Well, we have talked tonight, we talked last week about the issues of the economy and inflation, about how Republicans have enjoyed an advantage on that, might explain why they've taken that lead in the generic ballot. We've certainly been talking about how Democrats hope the issue of abortion will help them to counter that, will help them to bring out some new voters, some extra voters this fall, bring that turnout level to new heights. There's another issue, though, that Republicans have been emphasizing and maybe gaining some traction on. And we thought we would take a look at that, and that is the issue of crime here. So this is an interesting way of looking at it. This is a Pew poll that came out this week, and taking a look here at the issues where Republicans seem to have their biggest strengths here. These are issues that voters say are, in their words, very important to them in terms of making up their minds in the midterm. And again, not surprisingly, you see the economy is very high. Look what's second, though, on this list. It's violent crime. All of these are issues where Republicans have an advantage. How big of an advantage? In the Pew poll, here you go. On the economy, it's 13 points. On crime, it's 17 points. And then foreign policy and immigration you see here as well. So this is an issue. Again, more than 6 in 10 voters saying it's very important to them, and they are giving Republicans a 17-point advantage. So this is an issue that Republicans have been running heavily on. You see it in ads for House races, governor's races, Senate races. Give you an example here. Here's New York State. New York State, you don't think of it necessarily as the most politically competitive place, but when it comes to the battle for the House this year, it certainly is. There are competitive, potentially competitive House races all over the state. And you look at Republican candidates in these races, they are playing on the issue of crime heavily in their ads. You look at some of the key Senate races here, suburbs of Philadelphia, suburbs of Milwaukee. Again, the issue of crime featuring prominently in Republican messaging. Take a look here. Here's a look at some of the ads voters in places like I'm describing are seeing.
Mandela Barnes stands with Defund the Police and supports no cash bail that releases dangerous criminals back into our communities.
They want to defund the police, even as crime rages out of control across the state. Josh Riley, extreme, liberal, dangerous.
Raphael wanted I call police thugs, then cut their funding. Now he wants to end cash bail, putting criminals back out on the street.
Why is Radical John Fetterman dodging debates? Because he can't defend freeing convicted murderers even over Josh Shapiro's objection.
Beto stands with groups that support defunding the police. It's dangerous to everyone, and it's why Beto O'Rourke should never be governor of Texas.
Governor Lujan Grisham has made it easier to be a criminal than a cop. She's released criminals from prison early and appointed soft-on-crime judges.
Streets are exploding with drugs and violence, while liberals like Tim Ryan attack and defund our police. Tim, fight the criminals, not the cops.
And joining us now is Kyle Kondik. He is the managing editor of Sabato's Crystal Ball newsletter at the University of Virginia Center of Politics, and he has watched more than 330 campaign ads this season. Congratulations on that, Kyle, or my condolences. I'm not sure which one applies, but we're giving folks a taste of these Republican ads playing up crime. And I'm curious, since you've watched all of these, what's your sense of the economy and inflation versus crime in terms of the emphasis Republicans are placing on it in their ads? Which one outweighs the other?
I mean, look, I think you showed a pretty representative sort of cross-section of this that we're seeing from Republicans on crime. And, it's just sort of more vivid, I guess, just to, and sort of you get more of a visceral reaction, which is probably what the ad makers are going for, compared to a lot of the other Republican messaging, which a lot of it is, candidate X votes with Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi 98% of the time, and that causes inflation, et cetera. The crime stuff is just, it kind of hits you in the gut a little bit more. When Democrats see a lot of these ads, they think, hey, the Republicans are just basically going back to race baiting. The Republicans, I think, point to a lot of criminal justice reform efforts in blue states that they would argue, haven't worked, that have led to spikes in crime. And again, it's all in the eye of the beholder, I guess. But you just see this crime messaging a lot. And you mentioned New York. One interesting piece of these New York congressional races is that it's pretty common to see like Biden and Pelosi in these ads, but you also see Kathy Hochul, the Democratic governor, in a lot of the swing state, Republican or the swing district Republican attack ads, which is also kind of interesting.
So we see this polling, and I've seen some other numbers like this. We show this Pew polling where Republicans have that advantage on the issue of crime. You're watching all of these ads. You're seeing the Republicans play it up. Are you noticing the Democrats countering it in any way? How are they doing it? Are they doing it more than they were before? What does it look like from their perspective?
Absolutely. I mean, Democrats are talking about this issue a lot too, and what Democrats often do is they put law enforcement in their own ads. There's a congressional candidate out in California, Adam Gray, running an open seat out there, and he put a bunch of Republican county sheriffs who he had worked with in his ads, and so Democrats feel like they can put law enforcement officers in their own ads as sort of validators for themselves. But I think what ends up happening too is that you almost hear sort of the same thing from both Republicans and Democrats. As sort of tough on crime message, which you think back like 2 years ago to the summer 2020 and the reaction to the murder of George Floyd and all of that, and the sort of idea of sort of a reform movement. I think sort of the pendulum has swung back to where you've got kind of both sides kind of competing on what you think to be sort of the Republican law enforcement territory of essentially being kind of like really pro law enforcement and really tough on crime. And again, that's neither good nor bad. It's just interesting that that's where we're at right now.